this shit. I am back. This time we're doing valve cover gaskets, PCV valve, oil cooler O-ring, and spark plugs. And I'm not gonna do a how-to. There's already enough of those on the fucking internet and YouTube. So I'm just gonna vlog this shit. Really? Well, it's gonna be a how-to slash vlog. I don't know if you want to sit through all this. Fuck if I care. I don't care anymore. It's too hot. I'm not in the fucking mood. And I have about 6 hours to do this, which it's not gonna take that long, but yeah. So far, I got the intake off, or the intake tube rather. So I'm about to unbolt the white pipe from the manifold plenum, flip it back. Let me go ahead and get the head strap, and I promise I'll position it a little bit better because I know my last video fucking sucked. You kept looking at everything above what I was actually seeing, so I'll use my phone to help me align it properly. Anyways, typical shit. My Mobile One 1030 O-ring for the oil cooler, valve cover gaskets. Notice how there's 3 of them in here. Pro will give you the exhaust side valve cover gasket and both VVTi and non-VVTi intake side valve cover gaskets. I guess it's easier for them and it saves them money. I don't know. Genuine oil filter. There's a part number for you. Spark plugs. Obviously 6 of them. Generic PCV valve with the grommet that goes into the valve cover. So I have the traction control unit unplugged. And then the TPS is right here. Next, let me see, disconnect the TPS right here. Move that out of the way. This hose for the PCV valve can be removed. Coil pack connectors. I hope they don't fucking disintegrate. You're also gonna have 2 coolant hoses, one here, and I believe the other one might be in front of the throttle body, if my memory serves me correctly. You have this random stupid ass plug here. Oh, I just broke the PCV valve, good thing I got a new one. These, if you've never seen these before, they're basically a hose clamp. And so right now I'm about to disconnect the coolant hose that goes to the throttle body. What I do is I slip this over the hose, clamp it down shut, and when I remove it, I won't lose any, or I mean I'm going to lose obviously a little bit of coolant, but it won't just keep pouring out. And I'm going to have to use this on the other end because I really don't have another one of these. I really do need to go to, I think they have them at Harbor Freight. I have to go get some more. See? All I have to do is just take this and flip it over. Yeah, I don't know, that looks decent, except for this little clip here on top, which they always break. Throw that to the side. This one, all right, yeah, see that one's fucked, but I'm gonna put it back like that. It's not, it's still usable. Everything's just fucking breaking here, Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, that's definitely causing my misfire. Fuck, well, just broke that. Carefully lift these up. Up and out of the way. Yeah, it's just full of oil. I was getting a misfire, a slight one. At when I'm cruising and I just barely press on the throttle, you know, to maintain my speed, I will get a misfire when I lightly tap the accelerator pedal. And I was suspecting I just had a stupid ass little fucking issue like this. My damn oil gasket's leaking too. Fuck. Alright, so not bad. I used a shop vac, cleaned up the area where the spark plug is, spark plug valley, people call it. Got the valve covers off, one's right there. In the parts cleaner. I'm gonna go ahead and wash it up. I don't know why it looks like just some kind of like melted crap. It's like silver. What the fuck is that? I don't know. Hopefully it'll all come off. But it looks like it's in the casting. That's kind of weird. Is that a fucking hole? What's going on here? That's a fucking hole. What is that about? Let's clean this up and see what's going on.
A few moments later.
I'm definitely not going to reuse these valve covers. That exhaust side is questionable. I don't know what the fuck happened here, but I've never seen this before in my fucking life. There it is. Check that shit out. You got, so that's like fucking blown out. That legitimately looks like it's fucking blown out. And it's like the cast is separating, or I don't know what the fuck. And it's on the back side too. And look at the back of it. This thing is fucking, it's fucking gross. And I am definitely not going to be putting this back on, which fucking sucks. Luckily, I have that complete 2J sitting at home, and I don't think it's like that, because I've never seen that before in any vehicle that I've done. Whether it's 2J, 1J, 7M, Hondas, DSMs, Nissans, my 2240s, my B13 Sentra. I've never seen that before a day in my life. Even when I was working at Nissan, I've never seen that shit. This one looks okay. None of the mounting points are blown out. However, it still looks ugly. It has like, it's like all rough and shit. I'm not reusing that. And look who's here to help me. Come here. Come here. Spark plugs are out. A lot of oil on them. A lot of fucking oil. I cleaned out the spark plug valley the best I could. So now I got the side of the car jacked up. I got an oil pan there underneath the oil filter. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that off and get to work on this oil cooler O-ring that's been leaking ever since I first bought the fucking car 3 years ago. So So, like I said, here it is right here. Oil cooler should just come off the block. Replace the O-ring, put everything back together, real easy. Oil cooler time. On VVTi, you're gonna have to remove the oil pressure sensor. All right, that's gonna be a 24 mil. If you're non-VVTi, your bolt's gonna look like this, and you're not gonna have a sensor on it. Basically, when VVTi engines, they put a hole here at the end of the bolt and tapped it, and that's where your oil sensor is. I believe non-VVTi, the oil pressure sensor is right on the block on an oil galley. VVTi's, they changed it. So 24 millimeter socket, deep. Give it a good turn. And now she's loose like a goose. Unscrew your sensor. Put it aside. Now the bolt should also be a 24. So just put that right back on there. This is gonna have some this is gonna require a little bit of muscle, so make sure you find out the torque spec for that and torque it back to what it's supposed to be. Something just fell. That's the bolt. Remember, non-VVTi, there's no hole there. VVTi, there's a hole that is tapped and drilled for your sensor. When I did my 2JZ GE swap on my MK3, I did an NAT setup, and I couldn't find this bolt to make an oil feed for my turbo. So instead I ended up having to get a spare one of these, drilling it myself and tapping it, and then using this as an oil feed. And now to find out what the hell I dropped. Pulled the valve covers off the engine in my garage. I'm stoked, these things are pretty fucking mint. And playing a little 2JZ valve cover Jenga right now. So these two I throw in the parts washer, get them cleaned up, and I can seal at the top of the engine. Alright, not bad. After some time in the parts washer, this one cleaned up decently. Insides are very clean. They're just not chewed up like this one is, so I'm happy. I wish I had a little bit more time so I could get them powder coated. I would do just a basic, you know, gloss black, but time is of the essence and I have to go to work tomorrow and this thing, so we're going to throw these on, put RTV in the appropriate spots, mainly in the corners and where the cam seal is. And then these, I don't know, I'll just throw them on the other engine so they don't get dirty on the inside. And then that's it. Cover gaskets on, spark plug, and then assemble the intake back together. Good news and bad news. Valve covers are in, new PCP valve. The gaskets, put a little of the Toyota gasket sealer on the front cam caps. Looks really good. Bad news. The valve cover bolts for the SC300 VVTi are shorter than the valve cover bolts for the IS300 2JZ GE VVTi. They're longer by 1/4 of an inch maybe, or 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 of an inch. So if you know these cylinder heads well, the outside bolts go all the way through the cylinder head. So I was able to get those in. However, the 4 there on the inside, they bottom out. They're too long. And I didn't bring the IS300 valve cover bolts with me. I kind of shot myself in the foot. So here's my plan. Definitely not driving all the way to Pembroke Pines to go get those. Well, fucking good news. Found some. Didn't have to cut these originals. 4 bolts. Then I found 4 washers. There's 3 here, but I already test fitted 1 in the engine, so it worked perfectly. They're nice and zinc coated. Too bad they all can't be, but I'm just gonna hang on to these, and I'll put these on the other engine in my garage. I'm gonna go ahead and drive these in. Drop my GK plugs in, oil, hook the intake back up, call it a day. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the intake back together without showing you guys. I mean, basically it's the opposite order of what you saw earlier, me taking it off. Just don't forget the little vacuum lines that go underneath the white pipe and the one that goes in between, in the middle of the white pipe. And you know, you have 2 coolant hoses going in and out of the throttle body, and then your TPS plug, your traction control plug, and your cruise control plug, which those you can't mix them up. They fall into place because the wiring harness is so cooked. And then I have to find that hose that fell for the PCV valve. And that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna fill it back up with oil and fire her up. So I'll show you guys that in a second. Look at that fucking thing. Unbelievable. I'm getting fucking wrecked out here. This is why I wear pants when I do this shit. But until then, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, DM me for a sticker, and stay tuned for the next video. Peace.